Doobity-doobity-doo. Doobity-doobity-doom. Ba-doom. Ba-doom. Boom. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, bam. Doobie-doop. Shooby-doop. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, 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 bam. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. Ba-dum, boom, boom. Ba-da-dum, boom, boom. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. Bam, bam. Bam, bam, bam. Biddy-doo-biddy-doo-biddy, bam, bam. Biddy-doo-biddy-boo-biddy, boom, boom. Biddy-doo-biddy-boo-biddy, bam, biddy-biddy-boo-biddy, boom, boom, boom. Ba-da-dum, boom, boom. Ba-da-dum, boom, boom. Da-dum, boom, boom. Boom, boom, boom. Boom, 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 boom. Bam, 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 bam. Biddy-doo-biddy-doo-biddy-ding-biddy-ding. All right, welcome back. This is Decolonizing Is, and I'm Yesenia Guadalupe. During this show, I kind of give a recap, right, of everything that's been going on over the last week. If you'd like to keep in contact with us during the week as these stories unfold, make sure to visit us on Instagram, on Facebook, on Twitter. We share articles pretty much every day or whenever we find something interesting, right, or of note. So join us there. Today I wanted to talk about a lot of stuff. So let's start with the COVID vaccinations. COVID vaccines are going down, right? That's just a fact. People are not getting them as often anymore. Everybody who wanted to get them pretty much already got them. And now the government is making a point, and local governments are making a point of bribing people to get the vaccines. So it's like, we're gonna give you beer, we're gonna give you scholarships, we're gonna give you a fucking car, like all this stupid shit, right? Huh?
Free guns.
Guns, free guns. Free guns, thank you, Francisco. So all this free bullshit, right, to get people to get vaccinated. Now, here's the unpopular opinion. The reason people don't want to get vaccinated, and I'll speak for myself. The reason I did not want to get vaccinated is because the government is letting these corporations and these pharmaceutical companies get away with doing whatever the fuck they want with the vaccine and having no accountability. You may or may not know that you have to sign a waiver before you get pricked. And that waiver pretty much absolves these pharmaceutical companies from liability for anything that happens to you. If y'all really want people to get vaccinated, how about holding these companies accountable if some shit goes wrong? Like if there's nothing wrong with the vaccine and there's no issues with it, then why do I have to sign a waiver saying that whatever happens to me, me jodí and it was on me? No, bro, take some fucking responsibility. Maybe if we held them even a little bit accountable for the shit that they're putting into our bodies, people might be like, you know what? Yeah, I'll try it. I'll do it, whatever, right? Instead of trying to get people to fucking do it like by bribery or through like coercion or through giving them like cookies and shit. Like, no, like that's one of the big reasons, right? That we don't trust the government and we don't trust these companies because they don't hold themselves accountable. They don't hold each other accountable. And basically all of the liability falls on us. So continuing that train of thought, Biden, your boy Biden, right? has basically been negotiating against himself. So when Trump passed all the tax cuts during his administration, there was no bipartisan support. The Republicans did whatever the fuck they wanted and passed all of these tax cuts for themselves, for their friends, right? So now your boy Joe wants to have bipartisan support in order to repeal these tax cuts. What the fuck for, bro? And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you what the point is. The reason they're doing this is because at the end of the day, the Democrats and the Republicans are on the same fucking team. They're on the corporations team. We're on that, what do you call it? A plutocracy? That's what the fuck this shit is at this point. The corporations are running the country, right? And that's why at this point, your boy Joe is just like, yeah, well, maybe I won't repeal the tax cuts. What the fuck did you run for, bro? Or what platform did you run on? People are overwhelmingly for taxing corporations. And let me break this shit down. The reason that we need to tax corporations is because corporations are part of society, right? They use all of the infrastructure that is built with tax money. They use it more than a regular person ever fucking will, and they don't contribute to it at all. So what happens? When there's a loss or when there's an issue, corporations will use federal money, i.e. yours and my taxes, right, to get fucking bailed out. But the second that there's a gain or the second that they're making profits, all that shit is for them. So, cuando están ganando, ellos ganan solito. Y cuando están perdiendo, todos sufrimos y todos tenemos que ayudarlos a ellos. What the fuck, dude? Y'all are...
Capitalize the profits and socialize the losses.
Capitalize the profits, socialize the losses. Thank you, Francisco. Exactly, bro. So at the end of the day, los pendejos, the idiots are us, dude. We're the ones that are fucking allowing this shit to happen. And who suffers? We do, because whenever corporations do not pay taxes and do not contribute at all to society, social programs suffer. All the shit that we need to survive, roads, schools, healthcare, all that shit doesn't get done because there's only so much money to go around. So whenever these billionaires and fucking trillionaires get all these tax cuts, they're literally hoarding wealth. They are hoarding wealth at the expense of you, at the expense of your fucking safety, at the expense of your life, and we're just letting that shit happen. And at the end of the day, bro, por eso I laugh whenever anybody calls me a Democrat, because I'm not a fucking Democrat. I am pro-people, period. And whichever party decides that they're going to be pro-people at whatever given moment, that's who I'm going to fuck with. But your boy Joe right now is just showing you, if you're paying attention, exactly how this monster works. They don't give a fuck about you, bro. They only give a fuck about themselves and the ends, right? Which is whatever money they can squeeze out of you. So I say this to say, do not go back to your regular life as if 2020 did not happen. Do not go back to your regular life as if 2020 did not happen. Y'all have been through trauma. Y'all have been through an awakening, I hope. You have seen, right, peeked behind the curtain and seen more or less, right, how the sausage is made. And that shit is ugly, bro. That shit is ugly. What they want you to do is they want you to get vaccinated. They want you to start booking your vacations. They want you to start going back into the office como que no pasa nada, like if nothing happened. And if we allow that to happen, this is the shit que no va a esperar. Joe Biden negotiating against himself, being like, well, I said this, but guess what? I changed my mind. Maybe I won't roll back those tax cuts that Donald Trump did. What the fuck did we vote you in for then, bro? And he's doing this because he knows that people are so eager to forget everything that happened. Don't forget that the government abandoned you for the whole fucking year and let you fend for yourself with a meager fucking $1,200. We've gotten 2 stimulus checks, maybe 3, ni me acuerdo. Es que es insignificante. It's insignificant, bro. And comparatively to how much money from the collective is being given or has been given to corporations, it's a disgrace, bro. Y'all should be angry. Y'all should be angry. Y'all should have your representatives' numbers programmed into your phone next to your mom's phone number and your sister's phone number and all that shit. You need to be having Mario Diaz-Balart. You need to be having Marco Rubio. You need to be having all these motherfuckers who answer to you. And they answer to you if you call. But if you don't call, they don't give a fuck. Continuemos. Continue. Let's keep going. Your boy DeSantis has taken the occasion of Pride Month to pass another anti-trans bill. So anti-trans bills have been passing all over the United States this year more than ever. And that just shows you, right, the level of division that exists not just within political parties, but also in society. Because I don't know if y'all realize, Black and brown people, this segment is for you specifically. I don't know if y'all realize what a tool religion and purity fucking politics, anti-gayness and homophobia, how that destroys our communities and how that works for the ends of whiteness. White people can afford to be fucking racist and can afford to be homophobic because guess the fuck what? Unfortunately, they're the ones running shit. So let them keep their bullshit ideals to themselves. When we, Black and brown people, decide that we're gonna get on the same level as these people and start to alienate each other, right, based on these ideals that are not our own, that are the colonizers' fucking mentality and beliefs, right? All of this puritanical religion shit, that's European colonizer shit. All of this homophobic shit, that's European colonizer shit. All of this hierarchy based on sex, right, and gender is European colonizer shit. We do not and have never subscribed to that. Look at the history of your country, your indigenous ancestors, your ancestors wherever they're from. I guarantee you that we were not dividing each other based on sexuality, based on gender. We weren't. That's history. So, no nos pongamos en el mismo plan que estos gringos, que para ellos eso les sirve y les funciona because they're on top, bro, right now. If we ever want to have a chance at taking back this world and making it more equitable for all of us, we need to squash all of our internalized misogyny, internalized homophobia, because that shit is destroying our communities. And we cannot pretend like there are not Black and brown folks who have intersectional identities, who belong to these groups. And when we side with white people, we are alienating our brothers and sisters who belong to the LGBTQ community, who are differently abled. We can't be playing that fucking game. If we're gonna play that game, we're gonna lose. Like we've been losing for fucking centuries. Aprendan, despiértanse. No podemos hacer eso. We can't. Period, point blank. Next. Shout out to your girl, Naomi Osaka. I hope that all of us are seeing what's happening and taking that into our own lives. Naomi Osaka wanted a mental health day. A mental health day to not have to talk to press, and the press, the media, fucking vilified her. How dare she do that shit? Who the fuck does she think she is? We're gonna fine you, we're gonna punish you. And your girl Naomi was like, oh, you're gonna punish me? Cool, I'm out. I bow the fuck out. Do you see what happened there? That is a person who advocated for themselves, who advocated for their mental health, who advocated for their right to say no. And I want y'all to remember that you can do the same thing in your crib, at your job. We are conditioned to believe that we have to please and we have to exist for other people at the expense of ourselves. And I hope that this news story reminds us that we do not have to do anything that does not serve us. And advocating for yourself is not a bad thing, should not be a punishable thing. The other reason why all this shit is happening post-COVID is because people have had time to really sit and realize that they were living their lives for somebody other than themselves. Your boy Ron DeSantis here in Florida decided that he's going to refuse more unemployment help or more federal unemployment benefits for folks who are still out of work. And the reason is because supposedly all these empresarios are telling government that people are refusing to work. People aren't refusing to work. People are refusing to be exploited, and people are refusing to take shitty jobs that maybe before 2020 they would have taken. But now we've gotten to a point where we see, right? We see things for what they are, and people are tired, bro. People are tired of working full-time jobs and not being able to survive. So if y'all want people to go back to work, give them something worth waking the fuck up for. And if you don't have that, don't be surprised when your business is understaffed and you gotta close down because nobody wants to work for your ass. That's people advocating for themselves. Can everybody do that? No. And is it a privilege to be able to do that? Absolutely. But if all of us had that mentality, then because the majority is refusing to participate in being exploited, guess the fuck what? They're gonna have to change. If enough of us decide that we're done being exploited, the system will have to change because we'll not be buying into it. So don't think that you, individual person, or you in your city and your group with your family and your friends can't do something. You fucking can. The problem is that a lot of us are unwilling to do it because we don't want to give up our comforts. We don't want to give up our privileges. If you think that this world is perfect as it is, bro, live your life. But if you agree that we can build something better and that this shit was a disaster when COVID hit and we have an opportunity to rebuild this with an actual foundation that's good for all of us, then you may have to give up some comfort, you may have to give up some privilege, you may have to change your ideas about something, you may have to live your life differently. How much time do I have, Frank? Remember, the media is controlled by the richest, most privileged people in our society. The shit that we see on media is not for us, the regular person, to aspire to. The things that we see, the things that we think we should have, the things that we think we should do, that's a blueprint for them. If you're not in that fucking tax bracket, if you're not in the top 1% of earners in the United States, guess the fuck what? All that shit is doing is brainwashing you into believing that the way the system works right now will eventually get you rich. Guess the fuck what? It's not going to. It's not designed to make you rich. It's designed to make you want to be rich, and it's designed to make you think that if you work hard at your shitty little job, someday you will be rich. But it's not designed that way. So the moment that we realize that all of these fantasies that we are sold on TV, on media, are just that, fantasies, we can start seeing the truth of how things are and start to really pick it apart and see where can we invest? What do we want as people? What kind of society do we want to live in? And then we can start demanding that from the people who have the power and the authority to do that. Or we can become the people who are in those positions to have the power and authority to do that. So I hope that you enjoyed this episode of Decolonizing Is. We are on social media fairly often, as often as we want to be, but we're always here for y'all. So if there's anything you ever want to talk about, any thoughts that you have, any feedback you'd like to give us, any support or love you'd like to show us, we appreciate you. Visit myxxfly.com, visit patreon.com/myxxfly to help us fund this show, and keep up with us on the internet. I hope y'all are doing well, and I'll see you next time.